Hello and welcome to Shoot the Hostage with me, Sarah, and my partner Dan. We're a movie podcast and we cover 8 films per season on a specific theme. Now, we swear, we chat major spoilers, and we occasionally cover triggering topics, so please do use listener discretion. If you like what we do and want to support us, consider hitting 5 stars on Spotify, or maybe subscribing or even reviewing on your platform of choice. We also have a Patreon with a free tier for lineups and updates, and 2 paid tiers with extra content and early ad-free uploads. Right, on with the show.
Okay, Sarah, it's the second half of Liminal Spaces. We're doing the last 4. We're doing It Follows.
We are. Are you thrilled it's nearly over?
Yeah. The end is in sight, and I'm happy about that. Yes. It's not been my... Honestly, I think it's my least favourite season.
Ever?
The conversations I've really enjoyed. So, you know, let's address that. I've really enjoyed our chats about it. I think we've had some fun times. The films, the last 3 anyway, not for me.
You made me watch 8 video game movies.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I'm saying this is my least favourite. This is mine. Yours.
And I'm saying you've not got a leg to stand on.
What is I'm just my subjective opinion is that I didn't like the last 3 movies very much.
Okay. All I will say is I've selected nothing directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
It's not a competition. I'm just saying.
It is a competition. Fine. And I'm winning.
That's not the way that I look at life, okay?
That's not how you scored it last competition.
What competition?
Was it Picnic at Hanging Rock? You decided you started with 1,000,000 points and I started at 0.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I won that one, didn't I?
One can only assume because we never came back to it.
No, look, we had a good chat with Jamie last week. Picnic at Hanging Rock was absolute carnage. Yeah. If you made it through that episode, congratulations. Win yourself a magic rock.
Or 1,000,000 points.
1,000,000 points. And Messiah of Evil is not a movie. It's a collection of images.
Disagree. You loved Triangle.
I like Triangle a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, loved was over-egging it.
Yeah. I love F1.
Oh my God.
I love F1.
I love that you go to I love F1 rather than I love you, darling. I love F1.
Yeah, but I don't score you out of 5, do I? Wouldn't it be weird if I did?
I mean, maybe you do behind my back. Who knows? This is shaping up to be carnage as well. Shall we start talking about the film?
Let's do it.
Before this goes too far off the rails.
I think that ship has sailed. We're following... I was going to make a clever joke then, but I don't know. It didn't happen for some reason. So I'm just going to hang my head in shame and say It Follows. And then hopefully you'll follow that with something interesting and fun.
It Follows is a film from 2014.
Is it that old?
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Doesn't feel that old to me.
Well, I think that's sort of the beauty of it, isn't it? It's almost kind of timeless and intentionally so.
Oh, that's not what I meant. I just meant that it feels like it came out 5 years ago.
Okay, well, I was making a different point off the back of what you said.
12. I hear your point, and we'll put a pin in that one.
Okay.
Like we always do.
Directed by David Robert Mitchell.
Yeah. It shares 2 names with the cast of Peep Show.
Yes. If his name was David Robert Mitchell Webb, then I might call shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean,
that would be an insane coincidence.
I'd assume there's some kind of splice situation going on there where Adrian Brody is having sex with a hybrid.
David Mitchell and Robert Webb? God, I hope not. That's the worst mental image of all time.
Well, that's basically what that movie Magicians was about, wasn't it?
I've never seen it.
I watched it on a plane. It's rubbish.
And you didn't jump?
No, I didn't. The exits were sealed shut.
Damn it.
Not for the want of trying.
Yeah. Don't watch that movie when you're in a hermetically sealed box, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So why did you choose It Follows?
Well, I was going to say, if I said Liminal Spaces to you, what films would that conjure in your mind? But I realise I'm asking the wrong person because you'd probably say, what's Liminal Spaces?
Yeah, I mean, even now, I can only really name the ones that we've seen.
Okay.
How about Exit 8? Thanks, Kevin. How about The Back Rooms? Thanks, Kevin.
And also Jamie.
And Jamie, thank you too. Other liminal space movies, I can't name any off the top of my head.
Fair enough. See, for me, It Follows is one of the first that comes to mind.
So it was one of the first on your list?
Yeah, this was a definite. This wasn't like, oh, I might put this on the shortlist. No, this was right, I have to cover It Follows. And not for the first time. I have covered it before, but not on this podcast, obviously. So it's not a spoiler to say, a favourite of mine. And I'm excited to delve into it again with you.
Good.
How many times have you seen this movie?
Twice.
Both with me.
Did I watch it? Did I watch it before we watched it together?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I'm asking myself. I don't know. Maybe. I've got no idea. Let's say yes.
Okay. I thought you had.
Okay.
But you didn't think much of it.
Your memory's better than mine, so we'll say yes. So I've seen it 3 times now.
Okay. That's what I thought. We've watched it twice together. Because I seem to remember it was one of those where you'd seen it, you didn't love it, but then we watched it together and you were like, actually, yeah, that's all right.
It sounds about right, yeah.
It sounds like something you'd do.
It sounds like something I would do, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really ask what you thought of it the first time around.
No, because I don't remember.
Because you don't remember.
But it seems like you know already.
But how do you feel about this movie now?
Now?
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Wow, okay.
I think it's maybe we'll get more into details as we get through the episode, but initially, yeah, I think it's not my favourite. It's not that it has any problems. I think it's more of a taste thing, which has been the case often throughout this season, apart from Messiah of Evil, which isn't a movie.
In that you think I have none, and you have superior taste, is that?
No, not at all. It's just not my flavour. That's all.
Okay.
But I think it's okay. I think there's some really good parts about it, but it's sort of a bit meandering for me. It doesn't do much. There's some interesting stuff in it, but I find it to be a bit bland.
Oof.
I know.
I could not disagree more.
Good. Well, it should make hopefully for an interesting conversation then.
I find it curious that you say this isn't really your flavour, because I'm getting notes of John Carpenter heavily all the way through.
Oh yeah.
I am, not least because the director said as much. He said he was hugely influenced by Carpenter and Romero in terms of style. And also, it was given John Carpenter's seal of approval when it came out.
Oh, good.
I
How
believe
much did they pay him?
They didn't pay him. How dare you? Apparently, that's when they knew this movie was going to be a bit of a hit, because John Carpenter said, finally, somebody knows how to create tension.
And he hates everything.
Yeah. Exactly. That's how you know how good this movie is.
He's, he did make Ghosts of Mars.
Stop it! You love Ghosts of Mars. You can't weaponize it.
Don't put words. I do not love Ghosts of Mars. It's a crap movie that I kind of enjoy. I don't love it.
You can't weaponize it when you see fit, though.
Weaponizing anything. I didn't know that he'd rubber stamped this movie. It doesn't make any difference to me, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm glad that he likes it as well as yourself. I'm glad you two get more out of this movie than I do. Yeah,
me too.
You're making me sound like I don't dislike it. I think it's fine. I think it's a good movie. Look, I think it's a good movie.
Okay.
Is that, you happy?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're done here.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the Carpenter stuff is pretty over, I think, from the beginning. Particularly, like, the suburban setting is very Halloween.
Yeah, I suppose.
It has a lot in common with Halloween, actually.
But can you say that about every horror film that just has a house in it?
No. I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
It's more...
suburban.
It's partly the setting and partly the vibes. I think you can do suburban setting and have it feel nothing like a Carpenter movie. For sure. I'm struggling to think of any off the top of my head. But they exist, okay?
The Burbs.
There you go.
Does feel a bit Carpenter though, doesn't it?
No. Does it?
No, not really. Just trying to piss on your strawberries.
Well, don't do that.
Right, I'll just take it back. Suck the urine in through my... No, I'm not going down that road. Right, next So when did you see it then? Was this a cinema job for you?
Yes. Yeah. I don't believe it played at Fright Fest, but I did manage to see it at the cinema. Well, it came out in 2014. We've already said that. Same year that The Guest came out, which I did see at Fright Fest.
Oh, Maika had a busy year.
So I think that was my first exposure to Maika Monroe. And then the marketing for this, I remember, was kind of insane. And it became a bit of a running joke on my last podcast because I went to see it with one of my friends and my old podcast co-host, Phil. And the marketing, I remember this very distinctly. The marketing had very pointedly used a pull quote from somebody that said, the best horror movie since Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
And since my friend loved Cabin in the Woods, we were like, okay, yeah, this bodes well. I think this looks up my street. Let's go. And it was a really, really late showing at the Odeon across town, which is now shut. It's now its own liminal space, or it was until somebody set it on fire. And I remember coming out of the movie, my mind was slightly blown. I was like, that was incredible. That was genuinely really creepy. It scared me. And Phil's first words were, it's not as good as Cabin in the Woods. And that became a bit of a running joke for us.
Right.
A metric by which we judged all movies. Is it as good as Cabin in the Woods?
It's a good movie, to be fair.
It is a good movie, but
That's more
so
my
is
speed.
It Follows.
Yeah, the Cabin in the Woods is more my speed, I think. It's funny and there's just stuff going on at all times.
Yes, you don't have to pay attention.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about being bored.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I remember walking home from the cinema after seeing that and just being fucking terrified because it was gone midnight. Had to walk all the way across town, and anytime somebody was walking behind me, I was looking over my shoulder, freaked the fuck out. It was such a memorable experience. A lot like the experience I had after I saw the Blair Witch Project, which I talked about in that show. But yeah, I think that experience helped solidify this as one of my favorite modern horrors.
Yeah.
And one I return to often.
How many times have you seen it then?
About 8.
8?
I would
8?
say.
You've seen this 8 times?
About that, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Why is
I've
that?
not even seen F1 8 times.
Well, in fairness, It Follows has been out a lot longer.
Yeah, true.
In terms of how many times you've seen it versus how long it's been out, I would say you've seen F1 more.
I suppose I'm watching it 5 times a year at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So again, not a leg to stand on.
So it's been out for once it's been out for 12 years, I would have seen it lots of times.
Yeah, that we'll revisit this conversation in 11 years' time, shall we?
When we're covering F1.
Yeah. It's not going to take 11 years for you to put that on a lineup. Who are you kidding?
I know.
So this isn't the first film we've covered, the first horror film that we've covered that's set in Detroit.
Oh, interesting. What's the other one? Oh, I know.
Go on.
Don't Breathe.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Is that Detroit?
It's the third horror film we've covered that's set in Detroit.
Ooh.
It is set in Detroit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. Or yeah. Now
say,
you're making me doubt myself. I'm like, yeah.
Let's say yes confidently. All right. What's the other one?
Barbarian.
Of course, that's Detroit. Yeah. What is it about Detroit? Why do you think that? Also, 8 Mile is set in Detroit, but we haven't covered that.
And it's not a horror movie.
No, but why does it get a bad rap? Detroit.
Do you know anything about the history of Detroit?
A little bit because
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a really kind of blooming sort of prosperous place for a long time because of the car manufacturers. And then people sort of hit financial hard times. The factories started closing down and the work just wasn't there for people. So they started moving away. And the place is it was sort of left to rot for a long time. I know more recently there are kind of artists who've decided to set up camp there, not literally camp, but who live there and they kind of use the buildings and the surroundings as part of their art. There is an attempt to kind of not so much gentrify it, but build it back up. I believe the neighborhoods are about 80% black in Detroit, which obviously we're not here to talk about the economics of American states, but yeah, there is an interesting conversation there to be had about lower income families and the racial inequality in America. But that's sort of reflected by the film, which is largely absent of African Americans, apart from maybe the teacher at Jay's school. And that's because the suburbs were sort of built as a segregation. So the suburbs where Jay and her family lived would have been like largely white dominated.
Okay.
So yeah, very, very interesting history economically, socio-politically. I don't really know the state of Detroit at the moment beyond snippets that I've seen in like documentaries and TV and stuff, but it makes for a very interesting setting for particularly horror, I think.
Yeah, I mean, given all of that history and context that you've just given me, it's going to be a good place to set something, isn't it? Like that's horror leaning. I mean, for me, it's RoboCop, so
yeah.
I know,
but that wasn't filmed in Detroit, was it?
And
it was set there.
I want to say Texas,
right?
But I don't know. It could probably shot a little bit there. I've got no idea. But yeah, so my knowledge of Detroit really is that they used to make cars, and now it's the base for OCP.
And now they make robot policemen.
Now they make robot policemen.
Yeah. Which is less financially viable, apparently.
Which can't go up or down steps.
Yes.
Well, they can if you're Murphy. But that was the only one that worked, really, wasn't it? Should we talk about RoboCop?
No.
Okay.
I think something else Detroit lends itself to really nicely is the idea of liminal spaces.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's a good point, actually. I guess given the vast, previously heavily populated industrial area that's now sitting empty, and you've got big factories and imposing structures that are open and just completely empty, then yeah, that's definitely a liminal area, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this movie's full of liminal spaces, obviously.
There's no one in this fucking movie. There's about like 6 people in it.
Exactly. That's why it's the perfect film to talk about this season.
Yeah, it does fit the theme very well, yeah.
But yeah, I imagine the small cast was for a number of reasons. I'm guessing budget played into it. But also the director really wanted the whole film to have like a really dreamlike feel. So I imagine the sparsely populated areas are a big part of that as well.
I think that's probably come from his the inception of the idea, because I know that he got the idea from a dream.
He did when he was a kid.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So he wanted to just maintain that dreamlike quality as well, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, which again, there's a number of things that could be for that reason, or could be budgetary constraints.
Bit of both, probably.
Like the set dressing, the production design, a lot of that as well. But whatever it is, I think it all comes together and just creates a film like nothing else I've really seen.
Extraordinarily low budget, 1.3 million.
You say extraordinarily low, but yeah. I'm used to watching like crummy little indie horror movies with a budget of like 10 grand.
True.
Filmed on somebody's phone. So with that in mind, 1.3 million's decent for a horror film.
Okay, I'll take it back then.
I think
it's decent. I it's not as much as the F1 movie.
That's not our basis for comparison for everything. It can't be.
But it grossed about 20 million, which I saw that number and I thought, I thought it did better than that. But I suppose it is 20 times its budget.
It's a good return.
It's a good return. It's a good ROI. That means return on investment.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Accountant.
But I don't know why, but for some reason in my head, I just thought that this absolutely smashed the box office. And it didn't really. It did well.
It did all right.
It did well considering its budget. But if that budget was 15 million, then it would have been crap. So I know it could have done better. And I was surprised. I thought, I guess because, I don't know, because you bring it up a lot perhaps, or I do feel like it's part of the conversation a lot. It's kind of I want to say kind of a cult favorite now. maybe.
It was very well regarded critically when it was released. I know
Mm.
that much.
Yeah. So I think in my head, it just kind of, I just thought I don't know, I wouldn't put a number on it, but just like a really huge box office. And I thought it would have had a sequel by now.
Well, it looks like there may be one after a long time.
It's in pre-production.
Yeah.
Which means that it's almost in production.
It's promising. It's about as promising as it can get until they start filming.
Yeah. I mean, they could film it and it could still not come out.
Well, yeah.
So who knows?
But I think 20 million at the box office is especially good, given that this film was supposed to go straight to streaming.
Oh, was it back then?
Yeah.
And then John Carpenter was like, nah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Genuinely. That was one of the things that sort of turned it around for them and was like, oh, maybe we should go. And it played really well at festivals as well. So they retconned that idea and gave it a limited release. So when you consider 20 million from a limited release, that's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, actually, from a limited release. If it got a wide release, it might have got more.
Yeah. It's funny because the way content is released and consumed now compared to where we were at 12 years ago. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff that went straight to streaming. Before that, it was straight to VOD. Now, there is so much content made specifically to go straight to streaming. Like, really big projects. I guess the one that comes to mind is that Russo brothers thing for Netflix last year. The electric something or other.
Oh, yeah, the robot electric. Chris Pratt.
I saw Chris Pratt and mentally checked
11.
out.
What was that called?
It was the electric something. But didn't that have a budget of like 300 million or something?
Yeah.
Astronomical.
And by all accounts, it was absolutely dog shit. So I didn't bother.
Because it's second screen garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like the change that we've had in content between 12 years ago and now, I wonder what would have happened to It Follows if it had come later. So I'm really glad it came out when it did and it was able to benefit from that, because now I have a shiny second sight Blu-ray.
Yeah, you do.
With 2 commentary tracks, and I'm very happy.
Which you opened especially for this show.
I did. I had to.
Uncellophaned it.
I watched one of the commentary tracks. It was very interesting.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I know that we'll talk about the score. We'll get to that.
Oh,
I know
yes,
that
we
that's
will.
one of your favourite things because you always talk about it. But what about the look of this? And it regards specifically to the set design.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about what we're looking at on screen and the set work?
I enjoy the set design a lot, but I think this film looks its best when they utilise buildings that already existed and didn't really need much set dressing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more location based, isn't it, I guess?
Yeah, I think so.
You'd still have to dress those sets.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm thinking about is, I guess in the first act of the film, let's talk about a couple. There's the cinema that they go to. It's Jay meets Hugh on their date.
That's right. There was a cinema in Messiah of Evil as well.
There was, yeah. Good for liminal space stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a real cinema in Detroit. It was built in the 1920s. It's like still has most of its original fittings, like the organist at the front. It's very, very old fashioned.
It's the same organ player.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Wow. He's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
Arthritic fingers, but still gives it a go.
It's like a bloke in Indiana Jones at the end. Except it from the Holy, it's not the Holy Grail, it's a organ.
See, I went straight to the Goonies.
Okay.
That's quite a good insight into who we are as people, I think. But yeah, the other one that sort of immediately springs to mind is the second date that we see them go on, which is, when the inciting incident occurs, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought it was all the same date.
No.
Okay.
Separate date.
Right.
Because she has the first date, and then we see her having a conversation with her sister and all that. And then she goes out with him again. And that's when they have sex in the car. And I know you commented when we were watching this about the number of like dolly tracking shots.
Yeah.
I love how it's utilized. I know it's maybe you were laughing at it because it's maybe a little bit overdone.
I wasn't laughing at it. I just noticed that they used it a lot. I would say that I probably do think it was overused.
Okay.
But I think given that the budget was pretty low and they were going for a whole vibe, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I noticed it. And if I notice it, it probably means that it's maybe overused a bit.
That's
I
fair
felt
enough.
like every other shot was a dolly or a pan.
See, I love it.
And yeah.
I love it. It's giving me those tasty retro vibes that I crave. But yeah, that scene, which by the way looks phenomenal, that exterior shot of the car when she's sort of bending over and like playing with the flowers, love it. Absolutely love it. The lighting that they utilized outside, phenomenal. It just looks gorgeous. But the building that they're outside of is actually a real abandoned, I guess, sanatorium, like a psychiatric facility.
Right. Thank you.
In Detroit.
I was going to ask what it was.
I don't know what they would have called it back then, but yeah, and that sort of has this really overbearing kind of presence in the back of the shot, and just looks incredible and makes for the perfect liminal space. And interesting story, they were supposed to film the following scene where he straps her to the wheelchair and fills her in on exactly what he's passed to her. They were supposed to film that in the sanatorium, but when they went to do it, they found a body, or somebody found a body.
No way.
Yeah.
Human body?
Human body. Real human body. Dead one. Not a live one. That would have been a very different story.
Live corpse.
Yeah, we just kicked him out, carried on. No, but that prompted a police investigation, and they weren't able to film in there.
Yeah, I would hope it would prompt a police investigation.
But
and then Murphy turned up and he's like, dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yes.
But they were already dead.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Robocop shot them in the dick. So they were forced to relocate, and that's where you see them. What I think is an abandoned building where cars would have been made or stored.
Oh, I thought it was a car park. That was my take on it.
It does. They're fairly high up, so I don't know if that would have been like the top of the building or what. But the impression that I get from my research is that something cars. But I don't know. I think sort of being able to work on the fly like that benefited the film greatly. To me, that felt, I don't know. It could have, if you told me that was their first choice, I would have been like, yeah, it's cool. Looks great. I wouldn't have been like, oh, this is clearly a backup plan.
No, I mean, that wouldn't have occurred to me at all. I noticed in this movie that there's a lot of water.
There is a lot of water.
The first time we meet Maika Monroe, who's called Jay Hyatt, she is in one of those outdoor build-it-yourself tarpaulin swimming pool situations that take 3 days to fill up and then go mouldy instantly.
I believe a more succinct way of saying that is just an above-ground pool.
Okay. She had one of those. There is also I would say the main set piece in the indoor pool later on in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it opens and closes with Jay in a pool.
Yeah.
I mean, not literally, obviously. There's a bit after the climax.
We're spending some time at some beaches.
Yep.
A couple of times, I think we see a beach. Does it rain in this movie? I don't remember seeing any rain. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. It rains. Somebody drank some liquid, which is made from water.
Yeah. Jay asks for water when she goes back in the house after swimming.
All of the people in this movie are humans. And they're
comprised mostly of water, yeah. So, as we learned in science.
So I asked the question, what is it about water in this movie? It's obviously a choice. What's going on? I mean,
you haven't even mentioned the cold open. The first victim that we see dies at the shoreline on the beach.
Yeah, at the beach, yeah. So what is it about the water then?
I mean, there's a couple of theories. I don't know which one I align with most, but obviously online there's been a lot of talk about Jay is sort of childlike in a lot of ways. She seems quite reserved in some ways and trying to cling to her childhood maybe a little bit. But obviously when you start having sex, that sort of symbolizes the switch from childhood to adulthood for most people. That's your sexual maturation, I guess. So a lot of people think that water kind of symbolizes safety for Jay, and that because she's still quite immature, she retreats to water as a means of comfort. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't
Yeah.
like that read at all. The one that I do come back to is that water is cleansing. And when you talk about cleansing, there's this connection to innocence, maybe. So, like, particularly after she's been infected with the entity or whatever it is, I think it would make sense that she keeps returning to water, because psychologically there's this, like, you know, maybe I can undo it somehow. But you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Once you've had sex, you've had sex. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. But yeah, it makes sense to me, that reading, because, you know, if you're religious, you are baptized in water, whether that's in an actual body of water or a font in a church. I don't know, it's cleansing, isn't it? It's purifying.
Yeah, I use it to shower.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
As do most of us, I think.
So I guess it is cleansing in a way.
If you're not using it to shower, then there's something gone very wrong.
Right, yeah.
If you're using green gunge, maybe you watched too much Nickelodeon as a child. Who knows?
Or Noel's house party. Okay, well, thanks for that explanation, because I noticed it and I didn't have any thoughts. I was just like, oh, there's a lot of water in this. I wonder why. But I guess, you know, many different reasons, innocence and...
It's definitely symbolic.
Yeah,
it has to be. Yeah. Like you say, in terms of like recurring motifs, it's throughout the film. So it's definitely meaningful in some way. But I like a film where you can draw several different conclusions.
Yeah.
So a lot's been said about the anachronisms in this movie. We talked a little bit about the buildings and the sets that we used, but what about the actual kind of production design?
Honestly, I don't. The only thing I really noticed was the clam phone, which doesn't exist.
Okay.
So I wouldn't call that anachronistic. It's just made up. I didn't notice any other anachronisms. What else was there cars that was out of...
There were some older cars, yep.
Okay.
There was a lot of older tech, like the TVs that they had were the big bulky ones.
Okay.
They didn't have like flat screens or anything.
But to me, that's like these people have just maintained their stuff. They've managed to keep hold of it, I guess.
But I guess that is part of it, though. That's part of what feeds into the feel of the movie and informs the context, because particularly in Jay and Kelly's house, a lot of the furniture is really mismatched. It's differing in era, and obviously the director intended for them to have, for everywhere to sort of feel anachronistic and dreamlike, but alternatively you could kind of read into their socioeconomic status. Like, the stuff that they've got in their home are things that they've acquired and can't afford to upgrade, which is why everything's a little bit old, nothing matches. Stuff that's been passed on from person to person, perhaps.
Yeah.
Which would fit the themes of the movie.
Oh, right, because of the crabs.
Yes, because of the ghost crabs or whatever it is.
Ghost crabs.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now that I would watch.
Ghost crabs.
Yes. Really itchy, but I don't know why. Can't see them.
Well, that's not a horror movie though, is it? That's a comedy. Let's face it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. No, so honestly, I know that it's... I think I might have listened to your podcast when you covered this before, you know, and I remember you talking about the anachronism. So I was looking... I guess I wasn't looking out for it throughout because I think I'd forgotten, but I did a couple of times check in with myself, go, oh, but I didn't notice a lot. And you've just given me examples of actual things that are in it, so it's there. But my eyes must have been shut or I was sleeping or something like that. No, it's just not something that I noticed.
Okay. I would say the clothing is another big one as well, because that is sort of... The eras of the clothing are all over the place.
Are they?
It would be difficult to date this film if you didn't know when it came out. And also something else that was intentional on the part of the director is that the way that they dress doesn't seem to be consistent with the season.
What's it? Because to me, I look at this film and the season is grey.
Well, precisely. That's another thing that's confusing, because there are scenes in sunlight. There are scenes when it's really, really grey and dull. But there's sunbathing on the beach in that one scene.
Always fucking drinking.
Always drinking.
What's his name? What was that show that he was in? Keir Gilchrest.
Oh, Atypical.
Atypical is always drinking beer. Always.
Have you seen how skinny he is? Anything to stay warm when you're that thin.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, there are scenes when Maika Monroe's walking beside her sister Kelly. One of them's wearing shorts, the other one's wearing pants and a coat. So it's really confusing as to what even the season is. There's scenes when there's loads of leaves on the ground, and then it will cut to something else and there are no leaves on the ground. So it's intentionally confusing and disorienting.
Is that meant to be part of this whole dream logic thing? Like,
yeah,
people, if you have a dream, it's not necessarily period accurate.
Exactly.
Dream when you from when you were a kid, dream about being a kid, you're not necessarily going to see all stuff from when you was a kid.
No, it would be totally random, informed by everything you've experienced since.
You might see a dinosaur.
That'd be cool.
That's not period appropriate.
No,
because they were around a while ago.
And not at the same time as humans. Also,
prove it. I've seen the Flintstones. There's evidence,
which, as we know, is a documentary.
Yeah. People believe the shit that's on TikTok. I'm going to believe Flintstones, and there's zero difference between them.
That's true. I would argue that yours is potentially less weird than some of the shit I've seen.
Yeah.
Do you think this film's saying anything about stereotypical gender roles, and particularly stereotypical gender roles in horror films?
Yes. I don't know about stereotypical gender roles in horror films specifically. I'm going to refer to you for that one. But the general question, yes. And the main reason I have for that is old mate. What's his name? Old mate. Zabel? Not Craig Zabel, that's the director. What's his name? Daniel Zavato?
Our second Daniel Zavato movie.
Who is also in Don't Breathe, which is set in Detroit.
Does he live there? Is he just local?
And Daniel Zavato only makes movies that are set in Detroit and The Pope's Exorcist. But I think his character is the one that he seemed like he wanted to try and fix something. And I think we might have spoken about that in a recent show somewhere, about a guy just wanting to be the fixer and know the thing, and, be the person that fixes it and has the information. So that struck me with his character, and he's a dickhead.
As are all men. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think all the men in this film are dickheads, aren't they?
I don't think. I don't think Paul's a total dickhead.
He's a bit of a dickhead, though, isn't he?
I don't know. I'm a bit more positive about his motivations than you are.
I don't trust him.
Fair enough.
I don't. But horror specifically, gender roles. What did you notice?
I think it's saying a couple of interesting things. I think immediately straight out of the gate, we've got the commentary on scantily clad women in horror movies.
In heels.
In heels, the most impractical footwear for legging it away from an unseen entity. I don't know. I've talked about this before on the last time I covered this movie, and I think my initial impression was sort of that it made sense because perhaps she'd been on a night out.
Yeah,
she was caught out, maybe just had to grab the nearest shoes available, which makes sense. But also from the point of view of what the director was probably trying to do, I guess it makes sense and sort of highlights something we talked about in the Substance show, which is how ridiculous the male gaze is when you break it down. And just how we expect to see women in horror. Less so now, thankfully. But for a long time, for decades, we sort of expected to see women in horror as disposable victim, gets her tits out and then gets shanked.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically describing the 80s, aren't you?
Well, exactly, yeah.
A tight T-shirt, preferably wet, with a large-breasted blonde woman who may or may not die, probably will die. And that was every movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was every horror sequel that you could get a stick and shake it at.
Yeah.
If that's the phrase. if I should.
I don't know if that's the expression, but let's go with it.
Okay, I coined out here today.
In terms of Jay, how do you feel about her compared to most horror movie?
I don't.
I hesitate to use the word final girl because she's not really, but
Is she not?
not really, no.
But what? Okay, I think I've misunderstood what a final girl is, because my interpretation was it's the woman that survives till the end. But does she have to be on her own?
But this is a film with a body count of only 2 that we see.
Oh right, yeah.
Very, very small body count.
Is there only 2 deaths?
Yeah. There's the first girl
Yeah.
in the cold open and
Craig.
Greg.
Greg.
Daniel Zavato.
Why do I keep calling him Craig?
Greg. Well, because Americans say Craig as Craig.
Craig.
So
that's where I've got that from.
The two sound interchangeable with an
Yeah.
American accent, I
Yeah.
suppose. I believe he's called Greg anyway. But yeah, like when I read that, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, really tiny body count.
Mm.
But I think the film creates so much tension and this thick atmosphere that it sort of convinces you that there's more gore or horror that we see on screen. When in actual fact there isn't.
Yeah, there's not much, is there? Yeah.
So to my mind, she's not really a final girl because her entire friend group survives.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not including Greg in the friend group. He was just a weird hanger-on that wanted to have sex with Jay again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like her as the protagonist.
Okay.
I think Maika Monroe gives a hell of a performance in this. I think it's a really understated performance, which suits the dreamlike material. But I think it's really solid. What about you?
I didn't love it.
Really?
I
okay.
thought, I think it's probably just a direction that is the thing that I have an issue with, because I felt like the performances were just quite flat, and there wasn't much for me to find interesting or I'm sure there was nuance there, but perhaps that's not the right phrase, but the performances just weren't interesting enough to keep me interested. Like, it was a bit what's the word? Just flat, just lacked kind of volume in either direction, and it just was quite dour and dull to me. I thought the performances were.
Okay.
And I don't think that's a bad thing on their part. I think they were just directed, that's what we're doing. This is what this movie is, which is why I go back to just the flavour of it. It's probably not my thing. I watch a film and I like things to be larger than life, you know.
You want something a bit more theatrical.
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair.
It does, and it does fit this movie, those performances, so it does fit in, but just from my perspective, it's just not very interesting to me to watch as a viewer.
I understand that, but I also don't think this movie works with larger performances.
True. I'm not saying it would work if there were larger performances. I'm just saying that's something I noticed.
Mm.
But she was better in this than she was in Independence Day Resurgence. I'll say that. Which, this is a better movie than Independence Day Resurgence.
No shit.
I'll say that too. But if you ask me what I would rather watch...
Oh, come on, Dan. That's a problem. That is a problem.
I think it would come down to whichever one is shorter, to be honest. Because that is a bad movie. Independence Day 2.
It's horrendous.
Yeah.
But
they were all quite similar, the performances, I think.
Yeah.
And they were all quite consistent. It was definitely a direction thing. It just didn't work for me, that's all.
I see what you're saying. As an autistic person who's been accused of having a bit of a monotone delivery, I maybe have more patience for that sort of thing. I don't know. But I really enjoyed Jay and the whole friend group. I thought they sort of had this back of this kind of, it was understated, it was calm, but it felt like they had known each other forever. Like they could sort of just have these conversations where they almost just like grunt at one another.
I liked their friendship.
Yeah.
I liked the way that they just accepted it. You know, it wasn't necessarily that they believed it, because they weren't sure, but they just supported their friend.
Yeah.
And you don't see that in film. There's always you're talking shit, and then that person dies immediately.
Yeah.
Or there's some pushback, or some people believe them too much, but this one they're just like, well, okay, fine.
We'll
I
look
guess
after you.
Going to the beach then.
Yeah. We'll make sure you're not alone. Like,
yeah, it's quite refreshing. It avoided cliche in that way.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that you brought that up because I wanted to touch on it as well. I absolutely adore that dynamic because, as you say, we just don't see it, particularly in horror. And also, it keeps the interactions brief. It doesn't have shitloads of exposition or like, well, what can we do to defeat this? It's just kids hanging out and one of them going, this awful thing happened to me. And the other's kind of going, shit, she looks serious. We better take this, look after her and take this seriously. And I love that just because you don't see it very often. And actually, I'm not saying for a second that this movie's realistic, but there are decisions made on behalf of the writer and director that I think really do kind of lend it that realism, particularly their terrible plan at the end.
I thought it was quite a good plan.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't work.
I thought it was a really bad plan. If they'd thought about it for more than 5 minutes, you could have sort of gone, well, there's not going to be enough electricity. She's sort of out in the open. They're going to pick up the things and throw them at her and potentially kill her in the water.
No, it was a bad plan.
It was a really bad plan. But it's the sort of thing you can imagine teenagers would have come up with.
Yeah. Chuck the toaster in the pool.
Yeah. And also, I really like the fact that beyond what Hugh tells her, we don't learn anything more about the entity. Like, exposition done in a one shot, and that's it. I really enjoy that about it. It sort of allows more room for the atmosphere to build. So in terms of the entity, what do you feel about it? Obviously, we've established that movies don't really scare you, but this got to me. I think the notion that something could be following you with the intent to kill you, and it could look like anyone, including people that you wouldn't look twice at walking down the street, or people that's terrifying to me. It's such a simple but terrifying premise. Does that come anywhere close to like giving you the willies? No, still no.
No, I mean,
God, we'll find one day.
You won't. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of every shapeshifter movie I've seen where people look like your friend or look like this person.
There aren't that many though.
No, it should be more common probably than it is because it's cheap.
Yeah,
so that person looks like him.
Yeah,
or her.
And I love the reuse of people in this as well. Like the fact that the first time we see the entity is when Jay is strapped to the wheelchair. I keep wanting to say gurney for some reason. She's strapped to the wheelchair. She'd be lying down. It's not a gurney.
Okay. It's more like a hospital bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'm thinking sanatorium still. But yeah, she's strapped to the wheelchair, and Hugh's kind of giving her this spiel.
I thought he was called Jeff.
His real name is Jeff, but she knew him as Hugh.
Okay.
He lied about his name.
I thought his name was Jeff.
For the purposes of this, we're going with Hugh. And you see the entity walking towards them, and he's explaining it and everything. And we later learn that that's his mom that it was appearing as.
Right.
And then later in the film, when they're at the beach house, it appears as the girl who dies in the opening.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice that because it was quite far away.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But also just the fact that people keep popping up, like the kid, her neighbour, who keeps spying on her. That was creepy.
Yeah. Kid Andrew Santino. Yeah, that's right. He was a peeping Tom over the fence, and then the thing changed into that kid at some point. Why is it turning into people that you know? Is that just to try and trick you? To go, oh, give them a hug and then they kill you?
I assume so, yeah, because obviously Hugh says at the start it's not dumb, it's quite intelligent, and it absolutely will not stop. So I guess it's going to use...
until you are dead.
Yeah. It's going to use every trick in its arsenal to try and get close to you, right? Are you laughing at Arsenal?
I thought you were going to say using every trick in the arse.
Why
It's
would,
like, that's
why
what
would I
got them
ever
into this
say
problem
that?
in the first place.
So also David Robert Mitchell has answered fan questions on that topic.
Is he?
Yeah. So if you have sex with somebody of the same gender, no, still comes for you. If you have sex with a condom, still comes for you. So
What-
birth control, prophylactics don't make a difference.
What if you have it off with a fish?
Is that possible?
Yes.
I don't want to spend any more time thinking about that. I don't know that he's answered the bestiality conversation.
Okay.
I don't know if he's addressed that. I hope for his sanity he's not been asked because, ew.
Does it have to be a live creature?
Presumably, yeah.
Okay. So we like inanimate objects don't count.
No.
Corpses don't count.
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
They should.
The fact that you even went there, that your brain went there, this is the reason men aren't allowed to work in mortuaries in a lot of countries.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He also said that it can theoretically board a plane.
Oh, right. Okay. But how, with a passport? Like, I
don't
suppose
know.
it can just pick anyone, really. Just go, I've got your passport.
But nobody else can see it unless you're infected.
That's true.
It wouldn't have a seat.
No, it'd be standing.
Yeah. But it could still get on a plane.
But it has mass. So, like, it would be standing in a corridor and you'd keep butting up again. Like, when they bring the trolleys down with your teas and your coffees on, they'd keep bumping into it, wouldn't they?
I don't know if
And how would they know what plane to get? Do they go to the airport and look at the boards?
Well, he said that it's not dumb. They're smart. It's a smart creature. I don't know.
How does it know what gate to go to?
Well, presumably it can hear the announcements like the rest of us.
Right, okay.
10 minutes until boarding.
We have 5 minutes until the plane lifts off.
Yeah.
But it's still walking. It's like, I'm not running.
Yeah. It doesn't have to queue.
So it can get on a plane if it wanted to.
Uh-huh.
So I would assume that would also extend to sea-based transportation.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was thinking in this film, like, you just go on holiday. You just go overseas. And my assumption was that it would walk like on the seabed.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And so it would take a while, but it would get there eventually, I guess.
Well, there is a fan theory kind of adjacent to your water symbolism question, which basically involves some people theorizing that it's afraid of water or it doesn't want to get in water because it seemed really reluctant to get in the pool at the end.
I just assumed that was because it knew that it was a trap. But yeah, you could read it that way.
Yeah.
That it just isn't a fan of water.
And that when it does get into the water, that's the first gunshot that sort of downs it.
Mm.
So who knows? I don't know how much weight I give that theory, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Isn't the thing going after Jay at some point and she looks at some boys on a boat and then it cuts to the next scene? So I'm not sure what happened in what we're supposed to...
Well, the suggestion is that she was kind of spiraling by that point. And the suggestion is that she was going to swim out to the boat and have sex with one or all of the boys on the boat.
Right.
But it was left ambiguous. And I'm glad they left it ambiguous.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's left up to you as to whether she's done that and bought herself some more time or not. Because she arrives back home, her hair's wet and her face is also wet, but it looks like it's wet from crying rather than from being in the water. So it could be that she's crying because she's just had this horrific sexual experience on a boat, or that she couldn't go through with it and she's sad because it's still coming for her.
I assumed that she just didn't go through with it. That was my assumption. I didn't know for sure. But and then I also thought maybe she was just going to swim out to the boat to see if it could follow her there, which is probably one of the first things I would do.
Would you? I wouldn't, because assuming it can follow you, I don't want to be out at water.
Yeah, but you keep an eye on it, and as it walks into the beach, if it's sort of its head goes under the water, so okay, well I guess I leave now. And you have it on your toes, and you get the fuck out of there. Get on a speedboat. You do get on a Miami Vice boat, and you just have it. Or those speedboats from Face Off. Get on them. They were fast. I'd love to have been watching Face Off.
Are you joking? You can't do this.
I'm joking.
You can't do this. Every time I choose a film, you can't list the films you'd rather have been watching. No, that's not the show.
We won't do that. We haven't got the time.
Oh my God. We've talked a little bit about the way this film looks. You asked me about that. I also mentioned the dolly shots. which you absolutely just were insane for, weren't you? But outside of those, how do you feel about the way this movie looks? How do you feel about how it's made? Because this was only, I think, David Robert Mitchell's second feature. He's only made 4 films to date.
Yeah, but surprisingly low.
One of which hasn't come out yet. It's out this year.
Okay. Yeah, it was Under the Silver Lake, wasn't it? I haven't seen that.
Would you like that? I don't know.
I mean, if you're thinking about it, probably not.
Well, it's effectively the same plot as Inherent Vice, and I know how much you cared for that
God,
one.
I hated that movie.
Yeah, but I think Under the Silver Lake was the vastly more enjoyable film.
Okay. Okay.
But I was really high when I watched it, so I just sort of went along for the ride, which was the perfect way to experience that film.
So, not being familiar with any of his other work, really, I thought that this, in terms of the framing and the shots that they got, it looked nice. It looked nice. It was just a bit drab. It was just like there was not much color or life in it. And I get, again, a choice that is part of the thing, part of the design. So successful. It wasn't very interesting for me in terms of that. But what they did with where they placed the camera was very nice. And they did make the most of those locations that they rented, obviously with the pan-in shots and stuff. You've got to have a completely free area. You can't just dress one area when you're shooting that way. You have to work quite hard on it. So yeah, I think the framing and stuff was nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think this film looked a lot nicer than you did. I agree. Yes, it looked a bit drab. It looked a bit dour. Arguably a bit grey.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the other films that I've seen, I think that's just Detroit.
That's true, and it's tonally consistent. With the lack of color, the performances, it's all a bit grey, really.
Muted.
It's all a bit muted, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that when we do get splashes of color, like the blood in the pool right at the end, it's so striking. So I think when they do go for it in terms of color, it makes an impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love the way that this is filmed and the attention to detail with which it's made. Like from really early on, I think the first scene where I really sort of paid attention to the way it was filmed was they've left the cinema. Obviously, Hugh has that. Hugh Jeff has that incident where he points to a girl, and obviously Jay can't see the girl because he realizes it's the entity. So they run away, they go to a restaurant, and we're sort of looking at them side on when they're in a booth. And then Jay sort of puts her head forward a little bit, and all of a sudden we're focusing on somebody in the background just walking towards her very slightly, and they're both out of focus. And it's a really interesting shot because at that point, if you're watching it blind, it's like, what are we doing here? Who's that? So it kind of creates just this air of unease. And even before we learn about the entity or the infection or whatever, the rules, the lore of this film, there's this tension building of encouraging you to be hyper alert and look over your shoulder at all times and look in the corner of the frame at all times. And I love that because that's the stuff that gets to me the most in terms of like things that scare me on film. It's films that encourage you to look in empty spaces on the screen and that anything could pop up or be out of place or at any time.
Well, that's the nature of the beast in this as well, isn't it? It's a slow approaching thing. So when you've got a shot, and this happens many times in the film, the thing is just slowly appears in the frame, and it just is slowly walking towards you. So you do spot it from a distance quite often, and it is quite effective.
Yeah.
I like
think
that too.
It's done brilliantly.
I like that too when you're just sitting on a frame, sitting on a shot, and there's something just going on in the background. I was looking at, it was just a film we was watching recently. I can't remember which one it was, but there was something like that, and there wasn't anything in the frame. But I remember thinking, I wish there was, because this would have been a good place to put it.
I almost prefer it when there isn't.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like just the notion that there might be is enough for me. That's enough to spook me, and I love that feeling. I really do.
I've got a question for you, Sarah. You know how Terminator is a slasher movie.
Sure.
Is this also a slasher movie?
No.
Okay, cool. Next question.
What makes you think it is a slasher movie?
I don't necessarily.
Okay.
I just wondered, we spoke earlier about Final Girl and a lot of those films were slasher films in the 80s and the 90s. And you don't really have these films without that, I guess. But, you know, the nature of something coming for you. You know, you're thinking of Michael Myers, you're thinking of the other one from, what was he called?
I don't, which
Jason.
Oh, Jason Voorhees, yeah.
Those two. Like they're just walking at you. They're not running anywhere.
The slash bros.
They're slash bros. Sometimes one of them can drive. So I don't know how that works.
How did he learn?
Yeah. But that's for me, I guess that's what the connection was for me. It's this relentless killing machine just coming after you constantly, but it won't be seen running. It's just going to walk towards you. And that kind of unstoppable force. So I guess that was the connection for me. I don't know what the legal definition is for a slasher movie, and if I could be sued for even suggesting that this might be one. But
I don't think anybody's going to sue you just to put your mind at rest.
I hope not.
I might.
I can't. You're going to sue me?
For shits and giggles, yeah.
Okay, I'll sue you.
He said F1 was better than It Follows.
You can't sue me for that. Because it is. So it's a flat no from you. It's just, this is not a slasher.
I think so, yeah. Okay. I don't see this as a slasher movie. She's not a final girl. It does have the unstoppable killer. I will grant you that. But to me, a slasher movie, it doesn't tick any of the other boxes.
Is it? Would you even say it's slasher adjacent?
No, and I think that's why I love it, because it's its own thing. Okay. It really is like nothing else. It's got a lot of very familiar elements, but the way that they're assembled just makes it unlike any other film to me. And it's one of the reasons I love it.
Okay. I know there is another reason that you love this film.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually said it while we were watching the film. I know that you love the score for this.
I do.
It is an electronic score. It's a very synth heavy. It's definitely your vibe.
Disasterpeace, I believe.
Yeah. That's right. They did the score. When we put this on the other night and the DVD menu came up and it had the da-da-da-da, I was like, oh, this track is from that, because I guess I listened to it on Spotify and it's in my film soundtracks playlist. So it's funny, I didn't realize that track was from this, but it's a good one and it's very memorable, and it sets the scene and the tone a lot. I can't help but feel that it does feel maybe slightly out of place. Doesn't mean that I don't like it. I really like the score. I can appreciate that, but I also think that's what makes it match this film perfectly, which sounds like a ridiculous thing to say. Because it's to say that it's out of place but also works perfectly. But I think it aids in that dreamlike feeling of something being slightly off. And honestly, just inject this soundtrack straight into my veins. I love it. It's top 10 for me. Disasterpeace, It Follows soundtrack, or Pilot Priest, Come True soundtrack?
Oh,
it's a tough one.
Oh, God, why have you done this to me? I'm going to pick It Follows for the purposes of this show and the fact that I've seen the film more and I've heard the soundtrack more. I'm going to pick It Follows.
That's all right. I'm going to balance it out because I'm going to say Come True.
Yeah, I figured you might.
Yeah.
But that's a tough one. That's a difficult question to answer.
They're both bangers.
Yeah. Apparently the composer goes by Disasterpeace, doesn't like his music being on physical media.
Oh, really?
So this was uncomfortable. This was a bit of a first because obviously there was a physical release. You can buy the soundtrack on vinyl, or you could.
Well, what do you think that they mean by they don't want it? They just don't want it printed on a disc?
Yeah.
Why?
He's got feelings about how music should be experienced. I don't know.
What?
Look, we're not here to talk about that.
But you've got to listen to it. How are you going to you're going to play it on the internet then? It's
you have to be in the same room as him, I guess.
What's the difference? Okay.
Live only.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going for Pilot Priest then. What if they did a team up and they did a for the It Follows sequel? They teamed up together and it'd be Disaster Pilot, Disaster Priest. That's what it is, isn't it? It's the Disaster Priest.
If I had a dick, I'd be hard by now. The notion. Holy shit. Yeah, that'd be incredible.
What do you reckon on a sequel then? Are you interested in it?
I mean, yeah, definitely. From the moment the first one was released, David Robert Mitchell went on record as saying he would be interested in making a sequel. Maika Monroe said pretty early on that she would love to come back for a sequel. So with those two on board, I'm intrigued, but I won't be sad if it doesn't happen. It's not a film that needs a sequel.
It definitely doesn't need one.
And I don't think the lore needs expanding on. I hope they don't do that. We don't need an origins. We don't need to know more about the entity. I think the less we know, the scarier it is.
I would like to see a prequel where Stellan Skarsgård goes and digs up the statue in the desert or something. The statue is the It Follows demon, whatever, and he unleashes it like that evil box in the Bible. Pandora? Is that a Bible story? Or is it a Greek story?
This is a different conversation.
We should have talked about this
for another time.
In our triangle show.
We should, yeah.
Or maybe we'll cover Pandora.
No.
And we can talk about it then.
Unlikely.
I like that film.
It's fine. It's no It Follows.
So, sequel, you watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not necessary and you don't really care if they make it or not.
I'm not like chomping at the bit for another It Follows movie, but I'm curious. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Where do you think they're going to take it?
I haven't got a clue. That's one of the reasons I'm struggling to get too excited about it, because it could go in a really exciting direction, but it could also be repetitive and shit. So
that's
who
the
knows?
Danger, yeah. Either you do something different or you do something the same.
Yeah, and I was going to say I haven't seen enough of David Robert Mitchell's work, but I've seen the only 3 films he's made that have been released. So I guess I've seen as much as I can, but there isn't enough that exists for me to guess as to whether or not he's capable of maintaining that level of quality.
I guess it's just, I mean, those two, Maika Monroe and Atypical, they are attached to it, at least on IMDb. So you're going to be following those characters. If I had to guess, I would say that Atypical will be offed immediately, and then it's going to be the Maika Monroe show, which is fine with me.
If you're in a relationship with somebody who's passed it on to you, presumably you're going to continue having sex. So it's just like a game of tag at that point. You've got it now. Then the next time you have sex, now you've got it. Yeah. Presumably, that's how it works.
It doesn't matter really, because they're going to be in the same place, aren't they? So it's just going to kill whichever one. It's going to kill Atypical first, and then Maika Monroe, and it's because it works its way back down the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unnecessary, isn't it? Really, the sequel, but I guess it did fairly well, and people, I think, probably quite excited by it, except from yourself.
Well, no, I'm not excited. I just don't think it's necessary.
It's not.
It's not a story that needs expanding, I don't think.
And what's the working title? They Follow, which would suggest that we're going in a James Cameron Aliens direction. We're just going to have loads of them. And then we're going
Xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs.
That's a direction I didn't predict.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, we're just going to get Sigourney in there. Paul Reiser's going to play a shitbag.
Do we get Lance Henriksen back?
We get Lance Henriksen, but excellent. He's playing his character from Super Mario Brothers. He's not Bishop in this. Yeah. I'm not interested in a sequel in this at all, really. I'll go and watch it.
I guess my next question is Disasterpeace coming back to do the soundtrack? Because that would be a huge reason for my investment.
They have to try.
Yeah.
Maybe Disasterpeace is so pissed off about their material being on physical media that they will say no. But I think you have to. It's so much part of the identity of the original that you kind of have to at least try to get them back, I think. And if not, just do a cheap imitation. If not, get Pilot Price back. Make it even better.
So now's a good time as any to wrap up, but I've got one last question for you. What do you think the movie's about?
Crabs.
Ghost crabs.
It's about ghost crabs.
No, for real though, do you think it's about... Do you mean STIs in general?
Yeah. That's the obvious one, and that's the one I've heard online. The only other one that occurred to me is maybe shame. That's all I've got, I'm afraid. I couldn't pick you out anything else that this, and maybe that's part of the issue for me. I couldn't really see what it was about.
Fair enough.
I'd be interested to see what your take is though, because maybe you can fill me in and give me some context I'm missing.
Well, I think the STI thing is a bit too obvious. I think that's a bit too on the nose, and Mitchell has kind of dismissed that a little bit. It's not really what he was trying to do.
I heard that he acknowledged it whilst he was writing it.
Okay. I heard differently.
Okay.
Interesting. But the two that appeal to me more are the potential of trauma, which obviously if you're a horror fan, oh, the allegory is trauma. We're all getting a little bit bored of that right now.
Are we?
A little bit. It's becoming well worn at this point.
Okay.
I don't mind it as much as some more vocal members of the community.
Okay.
Because I would rather that than have my movie be about nothing and it's just attractive people getting beheaded for 90 minutes. That's boring. But I kind of like that. There is some trauma imagery and sexual abuse imagery that lends weight to that theory. But I think the most prevalent theory, and the one that I definitely align myself with the most, is that it's just about age.
Okay.
Because obviously when you come of age, you start having sex, that is your transition to adulthood. And from then on, it's just a slow march to death.
Okay.
But truthfully, though, isn't it? Because it is unavoidable. The way that they...
Not if you're Brian Johnson.
I'm not Brian Johnson. If I had Brian Johnson money, I wouldn't be using it in the way he is.
Are you talking about Brian Johnson, the guy that lives for a long time, or Brian Johnson, the Liver King?
I'm never talking about the Liver King.
Okay.
I like to pretend that he doesn't exist.
Who would have thought that in this world, the good Brian Johnson
would be the billionaire?
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't call him the good Brian Johnson.
I wouldn't either.
But...
The better Brian Johnson, maybe.
Yeah, the marginally less shit Brian Johnson.
Only because the other one is the Liver King, who eats raw liver and definitely doesn't take steroids.
And looks about 70. Have you seen him?
We watched that documentary about him.
If that's what ancestral living does to a person, no thank you.
What a clown.
But yeah, the less said about that, the better. But I do really like that reading of it. Just the fact that the way they talk about the entity, in that it never stops coming for you, it's inevitable, is kind of how we feel about aging. A lot of us do try to delay it or look for ways to prolong our lives, but it's inevitable. It's going to come for us one day, and I kind of appreciate that reading. But then I'm a sort of death positive weirdo. I've accepted my fate a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm under no illusions. So I really enjoy that reading of it.
Good. Not something that I noticed. Yeah. I feel like I've not been very good on this one. I'm sorry. I've sort of struggled a bit for things to say a little bit about this film.
Well, Liminal Spaces aren't really your thing. I don't want to be too negative on
it. That's the thing. Like, I think it's a good film.
Yeah.
Which is why I gave it 3 stars. It's a good film for me. I suspect that if you said that I didn't like it the first time round, I suspect the score was probably around the 2 mark. But yeah, no, I'm glad we spoke about it. I'm glad you chose it. I'm glad it's out of the way.
Fair enough.
And I'm genuinely glad that you enjoy it, and lots of people do. I'm definitely wrong. I'm definitely wrong.
There is no wrong. But yes, you are.
I'm definitely in the minority, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is unusual. I'm not usually in the majority. That's a new feeling for me. But yeah, I will continue to revisit this movie.
You gonna watch it a 9th time?
Oh yeah. Good. Yeah. Well, technically, I've seen it twice in the last week, so I've already 9. I'm already at 9 because I watched it with a commentary.
All right, 10 then.
Yeah, I will.
Cool.
I'll come back to it time and time again. But next week, we're going back to Australia.
I'm going back to the 70s again, Sarah.
We're going back to another first time watch for you.
Yeah.
And it's another one that I predict you may not love. We're going to cover the long thought lost film Waking Fright.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Good.
To see your reaction. It's a strange one.